Welcome back, all my free thinkers, to another evening edition of the Grow Rich, Grow Happy Crypto Show. Guys, in this video, I want to talk about preparation. How, at least from my standpoint, about how I'm preparing for the whole new global financial system. And we all know that come July of this year, and it'll be here before you know it, people, they are going to be flipping that switch, and that whole new ISO 20022 is basically going to be the standard. Now, I know to a lot of you out there, you could care less. You just like, where's the tokens? I don't care nothing about no standard or anything. But I think it's important, guys, to understand that. I am going to be leaving a link down below that Tangem has up. We've covered it before, but in this video, I want to talk about three projects that I am banking on long term, and I like them because they are small cap projects. Although when you really look at everything that they have to offer, you know, one would come away and say, damn, how can these guys still be small cap? Well, the easy answer to that is because this shift that we see coming and the whole emergence of cryptocurrency, especially now with this new legislation, it's going to take time, but it's not going to take as much time as you think. Which is why I'm talking about the three X's. These X's we're going to be talking about today is XDC. Of course, we're going to be talking about XPR, and we're going to be talking about XCN, or for a lot of you out there, better known as Onyx Coin. I know people always ask me to cover it. I have covered it before. And just because I don't cover certain crypto projects doesn't mean I'm not buying them. So these are three that I singled out because these are three that I've been taking advantage of in this crash, this crazy market that we're in now, with the fear and greed being so low and the altcoin season index being so low. I told you, if you got some dry powder around, this ain't one of them things where you should take out a loan or something to buy these projects. It's just one of those things. If you got some side cash and around, or you're changing your priorities a little and say, I'm not going to eat out as much, and I'm going to dollar cost average into some of these plays. These are three that I don't feel like you could go wrong with. So guys, this is your first time here to Grow Rich, Grow Happy. The first thing I'm going to ask you to do is smash that like button for me. Give me a subscribe, hit that bell notification so that you don't miss a video, guys. This is going to be fun. As let's just get started. Let's put it that. Let's get started. Now, what I want to tell you guys first, I know a lot of us out there, and I could have made it 4Xs. I could have put XRP in there too, but I don't have to. You guys already know what that's at. But this is what I want to get across, guys. I know everyone has a little bit of tribalism in them when it comes to their crypto. But I think what we have to realize, guys, and I've showed you enough of the crypto leaders out there, the Marshall Hainers, the Brad Garland houses, and different people like that who run these top projects. Even they'll tell you, you know, it's not about one project. It's never going to be about one project, whether now or in the future. And it's okay to have your cryptos that you believe in. You really believe them. But if you believe in them so much that that's the only thing that you're going to hold, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that either, especially if you have patience. But I believe as investors, at least me, I know for myself, I can speak for me, that I'm looking for some gains. I'm looking for some gains now and in the future. And I understand that some of these projects, even the ones I'm talking about today, are going to take some time to get up off the ground and run. So I positioned my portfolio so that I can get some gains from the stuff that I'm holding now. And for my long-term plays, I can keep dollar cost averaging into them as well, so I can make that long-term money, guys. So I always try to tell people on this channel that diversification is king. Do not be tribal. Now, also, But let's just get to the video, right? So where I want to start off first is I'm going to jump over here because I'm going to show you guys something. And I know we have a lot of new subscribers, so this is why I'm doing this. So I'm jump over here. I'm going, I pride myself on education. I'm going to pin this down below for a lot of you because I know you're just starting out with your crypto journeys. This is a great page. It's called, and it's from Tangem, by the way. Get you a Tangem wallet, guys. I trade all the time with my Tangem wallet. I actually bought into 2 of these projects just today and last night through my Tangem wallet, just making swaps. And I love the fact that you can swap anything with anything almost with your Tangem wallet. So, but I love that. So get you one down below, 10% off, does go to support the channel, guys. And I would be grateful if you did that. So this is their top ISO compliant cryptocurrencies in 2025. Now, the projects that we're talking about today, 2 of them are not on this list. One of them that's not on this list, they are ISO compliant, and that would be XPR. Now, they're not on this list yet, but if you look through their documentation, they are in line with the ISO standards. And just look back at the videos that I've done, guys. You can look at everything I've done on XPR, and you can see that everything they're doing with compliance wise, they are already compliant. They were more compliant than some of these. And they're working with the banks. They're working with the credit unions, and they're going to have many more surprises coming up in the future. So just because you don't see them on this list doesn't mean they're not in line with these standards. And I believe the future holds just bright things for all of these cryptos that we're going to talk about today. So let's continue. So this tells you what the standard is. I'm not going to go over that, but I am going to drop down because the one that is on this list that we're talking about first is the XDC Network. Now, I'm no stranger to XDC, and I'm sure a lot of you are no strangers to XDC, but we have a lot of beginners in crypto out here. And I know a lot of you might not know about XDC, or you might have heard of it. Well, basically, it's the blockchain platforms to secure efficient cross-border transactions, trade finance, and supply chain management. This is the key thing here, supply chain management. These guys are the heavyweights. They are the heavyweights. And just because, jump over here, just because this price right here doesn't reflect it, they are a heavyweight. Now, another thing I love about them, the reason I've been DCing in them, because these guys had rolled up a while. They were up to, let's check this price here. All-time high was 19 cents in 2021, but since then they was up to like 14 cents, I believe, not too long ago. But again, this gift of the whole tariff thing is just the gift that keeps giving. Inflation, everything. And I know that's terrible to say, but it's the gift that keeps giving to the wise investors out there, whether you be in stocks or whether you be in crypto. So I seen this. I've been dollar cost averaging in it. I actually got in it, I believe, at 4 or 5 cents, maybe not 4, but definitely 5 cents. I've been accumulating some more of this. So I just think it's a steal. It is a deflationary and inflationary token. So they do burn off some of their tokens, which I also like. I love that their supply is right here. They're actually a 1 billion market cap, so they're right there at the small cap. They really just made it out of the small cap, but I still consider them a small cap. I think it's a lot to give here. I do see them reaching $1. I can see these guys reaching $1, especially once this ISO switches hit and you get more people using them. Right now, they are deflationary. They do have their supply is not bad, actually. They have 37 billion, 15, almost 16 billion of that supply is already out there. So I look at that. They do have an inflation and deflation in there. I believe the thing about them, though, as time goes on and they're used more, the deflationary part of their system and the way they have their stuff set up is going to kick in more, because you're going to get more users flowing through these guys. So I think for me, at this price right here, guys, and they're ranked number 81 on, you can bank on that because I'm over here on CoinGecko, but I just think this is a steal, especially being that you see where things are going with the global finance and these guys are really being used. So I really like them, which takes us over here to, this is another one. I continue to DCAN, guys. I can't talk enough about the XPR network. Again, you have to look at those relationships. Again, I talk about Marshall Hayner all the time and the great things he's doing over there, but I also like their supply right here at 30 billion, circulating supply 27 billion. Again, this is one of those deflationary and inflationary type deals with these guys because they do have staking rewards. So that's why they're on that list like that. But again, seeing how they're going to be used and seeing how they're used, again, something I meant to tell you guys, I find it, I told you, the higher you get up in Washington or up in these crypto circles, the more things you're privy to. I think back to the interview that Marshall Hayner just gave, and I remember he was talking about Zelle, and he said something that I caught it as soon as he said it. He says in that Zelle, when they were talking about Zelle, and they was talking about some of these systems that people use right now to transfer money, he was like, well, take Zelle for instance, and he says, I'm not crapping on them or anything. He says, but if you just Google Zelle, you can see all of the problems that they've had and how people have exposed a lot of different things about their system. Well, I want to say not even 24 hours later, I seen the message go across this saying Zelle was being shut down. I was like, son of a, I was like, you got to be kidding me. And the first thing I thought back to something that Marshall said. And I said, wow, I'm pretty sure he knew. So you just look at that and you look at how these guys differentiate themselves from everyone else. They have something special. And like I said, they're not on that ISO list yet. But everything, if you look at their documentation, you look at everything they're doing with Fed now, you can already see that they line up with the standards and the messaging system. So it's going to be an easy add-on, I say, with these guys. You already see how they're going to be used. But the fact that they concentrate on digital identity and they're user friendly for that when it comes to using that, where you can just really just use somebody's name, and they have all of these security features just set in place already. That's one thing that they've done. They concentrate on compliance. So I look at that. I look at the fact that they are a small cap gem. Let's just face it. Everybody likes them small caps because they allow us to dream. They allow us to dream big. They allow us to look at things and say, well, guess what? When this reaches $1 or when this reaches 20 cents and I got X amount of tokens, I'm going to be sitting pretty. Everybody can afford to maybe grab an XRP. And this is why it's not on this list. It's the only reason. They can't afford to take $100 and maybe grab a ton of XRP, but you could with the XPR, and it's just as good and it's going to be used. So this is why something like this during times like this is why it's one of those that I'm DCAing in. I can continuing to add to my bag. So I'm loving that, guys. Again, it's the 3X's. Then of course I jump over here to a fan favorite, Onyx Coin. This is another one. Now, of the three, they're not deflationary, nor are they inflationary, guys. What you see is what you get. What I do like about them, though, that whole total supply is out there, but they don't have any burn systems in to take off of that total supply. Not to say that they can't add some in the future. There's a lot of rumors floating around out there that Binance is going to have something to do with these guys here soon. So I like that too. Excuse me. I really love that. I love the rumors that are bubbling. It just really helps for a token like this, and they're easy to buy. The other two are DeFi And these guys are DeFi too, but you can pick these up on Coinbase. I've also been adding to my bag of these guys as well. If you come down here and you look here, guys, their market cap, they're still small. They're 297 million. So they're heading up the path, but they're not quite there yet. You look at their high, their all-time high, guys, is 18 cents, which was hit 2 years ago. They've been out that long, which is great, but all of their supply is out there. I really like Onyx Coin. They're basically lending and borrowing for their platform. So there's something, again, in times like this, these are the plays that I'm liking and that I'm adding to in my bag, because, again, I'm looking at where things are headed this summer, but also where things are going to go long term. And these guys, although they're not on the ISO list and they're not, no documentation really saying that that they're lining up with it, although there are rumors out there. If you just scrub the internet, you'll find that people say, well, while they're not on the list yet, or they're not even seem like they're headed in that direction, some of the things that they're doing kind of leads me to believe that it's a possibility down the line, although there's no evidence to suggest that. But I don't think you can go wrong with any of those, especially if you're someone out there, you don't have a lot of money to play with, or you might have money to play with. Your other bags are packed, and your XRP bag may not be as big as that you would like it to be. These are some great options. I have all three in my bag, and I'm continuing to add here and there to them as I see some great levels. So, guys, you let me know down below, which one of these are you most bullish on, and which one of these do you hold the most of? I mean, I got some questions, guys. And if you had to pick one of these, which one would you just bet the house on? To the next one, guys, let me know what you think. I'm your boy, Mr. Foresight. Make sure you share these videos with someone who could use an opportunity like this. Hit that bell notification so that you don't miss a video. To the next one, I'm out.